assignment was photos of stairs. And as I put this together, I was really impressed with the quality and the imagination and the artisticness of the stairs I saw. The depth and imagination of our members is mind-blowing and it's wonderful. Now, so you'll see a divider slide each time as a new person. So I just want to introduce the topic a little bit. So first of all, I want to point out that stairs have been around for a long time. They can be old and rustic. Um, Stairs are nothing new in architecture. They've been around for a long time. Sometimes you're going to see stairs that are bright and majestic. This is a staircase and it's the Museum of Naive Art in Nice. And it's just like, just very colorful, artistic. But it just helps people get from one level to another. And then you can have like really grand staircases. This is the kind of staircase where you would use to make an entrance or be prominent if you want to be seen or something. That's all.
I can't split. I can split the video, but not the sound. I need to hear it. I need it up here.
So this is anyone else having troubles hearing me?
No, it's fine.
Okay. So this is a majestic staircase. This is also a museum in Nice, a different museum. And then there are staircases that are built into the architect of the building. So this staircase was built into the building as part of the building. I can't remember which museum it was. It may be the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam. I think that's where it is, but I'm not positive. But it allows people to get to the different floors, and the staircase is almost part of the architect of the building, and it just makes the building flow better. And the last example I have is spiral staircases. So this is a spiral staircase that allows you to put a staircase in a smaller footprint, but still be functional. And this is an interesting staircase because this is a staircase inside of a library, but the whole library is inside of a museum in Amsterdam. It's the Rijksmuseum. And so you're in this huge museum, and then this huge library is just like a piece of the museum. And there's a beautiful spiral staircase. So I just want to say that there's so many things and so much we can see in stairs, and we'll see that in a minute. So Ben, you're on.
Okay. This is an ancient Buddhist temple in Tibet. Um, and I actually took the picture to highlight the people. And then I realized, since we're talking about steps and stairs, um, probably something that's ancient might be interesting to throw into the mix, especially with the baby, the middle-aged person, and the old woman there. Um, so I thought it was an interesting backdrop for three generations of people. This is the stairway entrance up to a second floor art gallery in Johannesburg, South Africa. And the sun comes in through the slatted openings on the left as you go up the stairs to get to the gallery itself. Uh, and just the patterns and the light were something I hadn't seen anywhere else. And finally, if you've been in New York, down in Hudson Yards, there's an object there called the vessel, and it's a big oval open structure with interacting and overacting and interlacing stairs that you can actually walk up from the bottom to the top. I took this picture at the top. Um, the interesting history of this thing is after it had been open for about 2 years, they closed it for a while because too many people were jumping off it committing suicide. So they closed it and put uh, glass enclosures all around the exterior so you couldn't climb over the railings and splatter on their nice sidewalk. So that's the three that I have. Yep.
So David,
Everybody who has to talk, please unmute yourselves.
Okay. This is at Longwood Gardens. This is a quadrilateral mirrored shadow. It's actually one photo that's mirrored in four places. The stairwell is in the late afternoon sun. It is mirrored at the banister in the opposite middle of the tread. It makes two photos and again mirrored at the grass. Okay. This is Ryan in a kilt. He is upbeat and relaxed with his hand on the rail and his foot on the step. The steps are an abstract yet concrete backdrop evoking a descent. The hallway to the left is in secondary hierarchy. Lead with the room darkened just to know that it's there. The people in the background denote it's a party. Okay, that's Nora. He's doing the same thing. He's at the steps. He's modeling. He's in a position of authority with his foot back and his arm to the right. And again, the background is darkened, so it's second in the visual hierarchy. Okay, this is Natasha. She's celebrating Halloween. She's sitting on the steps in a vulnerable position. Her body costume is arising from the dead. The open door atop noticed an entrance and escape at the same time, and it is secondary in the hierarchy of the photo.
Okay. Elizabeth Davis, you're up.
It's me, Lisa. You can call
Lisa.
me. That's okay. So I originally took photographs of ballerinas on steps at a unique photo event, but then I specifically read the instructions and it said that the stairs had to be the subject and that you should consider light and perspective. So I was going to see the tall ships, and there was twin lighthouses called the Navsink Twin Lights, built in 1862. It's a historic, non-operational lighthouse, and there's a museum there. I ran in and I asked them if I could just take some photos of the steps. So at the bottom, th I have three different photos of different perspectives of the steps in the lighthouse. Oh. So you can see the light's different, there were different angles, but it's all a spiral staircase taking up the whole inside of the lighthouse. That's it.
Hmm. Is Michael here?
I'm here.
Okay, you're up.
Okay. Well, I just have one photograph for you today. And this is my favorite kind of steps, maybe yours, moving steps, where you just step on a step and it takes you away. This picture was taken at the Javits Center and converted to black and white in order to sort of appreciate the geometry of the quadrants of the picture, and then the main then the main element of the two escalators going up and going down. And that's all I got.
George.
Okay. I submitted three pictures, and two of the three pictures are the same set of stairs, and all three stairs are in the same place. They're in Laurel House Cemetery West. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with Laurel Hill Cemetery. They're both the east side and the west side. If you're not familiar with it, probably a good idea to go there and take a look at it, because it's very few cemeteries are like this. Most cemeteries are flat or relatively flat. There's two things going on with Laurel Hill. One is it's on the National Register of Historic Places as an arboretum. So you know that there's something going on there with the plantings. And there's two Laurel Hill cemeteries, one on the one side of the Schuylkill River and the one on the other side of the Schuylkill River, both owned by the same organization. And this one here, the other thing that's notable about it is its topography, because whereas most of the cemeteries you see, like I said, are flat, this cemetery, there's 200 feet of elevation change from the highest point to the lowest point. So it's really sort of voluptuous from a topography standpoint and voluptuous from a planting standpoint. And so, and just by coincidence, I live a block away from it. So, I mean, I've been hanging out there for decades and wander through it. And if I have the camera, which is usually the case when I'm wandering through it, we'll take a picture here and there. And I came early on when I was walking through the cemetery to this scene here. This is the receiving vault, which is no longer in use, but it's the place where caskets were brought into the cemetery, and the hole where they're supposed to be buried wasn't dug yet. They put them in the receiving vault, and they just sat there until they were ready to be, or the interment was ready for them. And this is obviously taken in the fall. This one's obviously taken in the winter, and thanks, that was perfect, Steve. It's like a perfect segue. And it's really interesting because this almost becomes a black and white photo. But the difference in, the time of year, actually, I took this picture before the fall picture, and just was getting around the cemetery in the snow and walking through it in the fall. A year later, I thought, let me take a picture of this. And there was all this gorgeous, fall foliage. And right down the street from this is the other stair, Steve, which gives you an idea how sort of voluptuous the landscape is. And I really love this stair because while you can't see everything about it from this angle, this stair rises to a landing and then splits off with another set of stairs that goes off to the left and another stair that goes off to the right. And sort of the way the light was hitting the scene, I thought, wow, let me see if this, how this looks printed. And anyway, so those three pictures are all from the same place, just different times of year, and are representative of the cemetery and just one aspect of the features to it. When you have 200 feet of, difference in elevation, yeah, the roads slope. You have almost 13 miles of road and walkways in this 182-acre sort of cemetery. So there's lots of places to walk, but there's some places where you need to go from the stairs, take the stairs to get from one place to the other. So it's really interesting. I suggest anybody who hasn't been there, go take a look at it. Thank you, Steve.
Linda.
Hello. This, I believe, was in one of the old prisons in Philadelphia. And I love the way you can see the shadows. And this is in a very important home. It's mine. This is looking down from my staircase from the fourth floor to the third floor. And underneath there in the black area is a bike, which you can't see. But anyhow, I like the angles and the way you see all the banisters, the new and old ones. And this is my favorite because it's really, to me, a piece of contemporary art. This was at the Getty Museum. And of course, again, here's another one. Okay.
Right.
And that's another museum. I don't remember which.
Looks like the Philadelphia Art Museum.
Is it?
Looks
Okay,
like the new part of the Philadelphia Art Museum.
okay. I'll look at it better next time when I go. But I like the flow of this. Um, it seems to go up even though it ends at one point at the left side, but it seems to connect even though it's not connected.
Okay, Penny.
Okay. So these are shadows on the steps up in the front of the Met in New York City, where I was waiting in very hot uh, uh, temperature to get into the Met one day. It reminded me of one of the sculptures in the museum, which is the Burghers of Calais, where they're all marching to their doom and black figures. And couldn't help but think about that when I was doing this one. Okay. This is, we were having our house remodeled to sell back in Georgia, which is where I moved from my wife here to Philly 3 years ago. And there's a loft area up on top of this, and they had to put up the plastic sheets to keep the dust and other construction stuff from getting up there or down there. And one of our cats was having a good time going back and forth underneath that. I also had to think about the nude descending a staircase picture when I took it. And this is just right by the big museum here, just north of it. You can walk down by the river, and I just stumbled on these stairs, not literally, and it's a spiral staircase that goes up a couple of significant height, and I was really taken with it's kind of like the golden the Fibonacci sequence golden curve when you're looking straight down at it like that. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was really a fun. I liked it especially because I just stumbled onto it. Okay, that's it for me.
Dan Chow, you here? Daniel? Oh, we have 3 pictures from Daniel. And I like the fact you're seeing the staircase through the door. It's just a nice, shapes and geometry.
Oh, great.
It's always fun when we have a mystery person going up a staircase. And of course, it should be recognized by everybody. This is the grand staircase at the Philadelphia Museum of Art with Diana at the sculpture in the back. Okay, Scott.
Hey, good evening. So I'm probably your newest member. So just real briefly, I'm retired, been living in Philly for about the last 3 years. I received my first camera, which was a Brownie when I was about 6 years old. And I am a self-taught photo hobbyist, recently joining society. And it's coincidental that my 3 photographs were all taken on different trips to Italy, and each celebrating the stair steps theme in different ways. So what you're looking at here first is a photograph taken in Burano. And this was this past year, and it's an island just off of Venice, and it's known for its colorful houses. It was a very rainy day, and I thought that the reflections from the rain created an interesting pattern for the repeating front steps. and further enhance the color saturation in the pictures. Due to the poor weather that day, I left my camera at the hotel, and this photo was actually taken with my Apple iPhone 14 Pro. Okay, next. Okay, this was taken on my first trip to Italy, and it was taken in the village of Orvieto. I saw the sister in the blue habit ascending the steps, and she stood out against the muted background of the cathedral. And then for a brief moment, there was sort of a divine sense associated with her moving upward and with taking the photo. I wasn't anticipating taking this photo when I arrived at that particular location, but it was fortunate that I was able to grab my iPhone. And at that time, the photo was taken with an iPhone 7. Okay, next. And finally, this photo is of the Bramante staircase. And this might be recognized by anybody who has traveled to the Vatican. Uh, and it was my earliest trip to Italy. Uh, the image that appears here is the ramp known as the Bramante staircase. And I like the circular motion that then was amplified by the repeating patterns of the columns. This staircase or ramp was actually used in the construction of the cathedral originally when the artisans went from the base of the structure up to the top and the domes and worked on the domes, and it was used as the pathway for the mule carts to hold the supplies up to the top. And this photo was taken with a real camera. I used a Nikon D7000 with a Nikkor 20 millimeter wide angle 2.8 lens. And I cranked up the ISO to 2500 to capture it. And, I think it provides three different approaches to how I view staircases and different patterns, but I like the architecture represented in each of these particular photos.
Alden? If you hear, just a reminder to unmute yourself because we're not hearing you.
Sorry, I didn't notice that. Yes, I chose three staircases with historical context, cultural context. This staircase is on an island off the northern coast of Kenya, and it's a very Arabic kind of village or city, village or town. Very tight hallways, stairwells, and this is actually a sidewalk leading to two different residence approaches, one up the steep stair on the right, and the other was going to the back further in the alley to another stair in the back. I like the shapes that show up on this particular photo. This is a temple in Palenque, Mexico. And obviously these steps have served the function of getting up to the temple. And really rough to climb and even rougher to come down. 6th century, yeah. And these are the steps going down to the Ganges in Varanasi, India, obviously serving the purpose of getting down to the holy water. And often you had ceremonies where you took your ashes down into the water, made the water really delightful. But it was a big ceremonial kind of stair.
Amazing.
Martin?
Yes. I'm here. This is at the Vatican as well. When we were leaving, I just like the circular steps, the architecture. I thought it was like a very interesting take on stairs. And this is also at the Philadelphia Art Museum. I thought that Geary change was very interesting. The way they incorporated space that was available that the public had never seen before into the main museum. And I thought this staircase it was just very dramatic and interesting. And this is also from the Vessel building that we saw a photograph from earlier. I just thought that the building was very interesting. I enjoyed seeing it. It's a little disappointed that they used so much what looked to me like chicken wire to prevent people from jumping off, which was the only way that they were able to make the building safe so that they could open it again.
Okay.
And
You're on, Ken.
Yep.
Oh, there's nothing. Need the next slide here.
Okay, this, I had a couple of stair photographs, ran out of them. Actually, I've never been asked to show a photograph of stairs or steps before, so I didn't dig deep enough, but I saw this. This was taken on the Oasis of the Sea. Has stairs in it. I like to take photographs of very unusual, strange things. My wife calls them Ken shots. She doesn't understand them either, but she says as long as all the voices in my head like it, she's okay with it. I'm not quite sure how to interpret that. This was taken in Nassau in the Bahamas. There's just something about this photograph I absolutely love. It reminds me of this kind of like English culture. Maybe it isn't, but because we're in Nassau, Bahamas, and it's very English and the architecture is very English, it reminded me of that. But I really liked it. I liked the drama in the sky behind it. And this was taken in Cascais, Portugal in June. Beautiful country. Cascais is a beach town about 20 minutes south of Lisbon. This was along a narrow street with supermarkets and restaurants, and I just loved the shadows as I walked through here and had to take a photograph.
Anna,
Hello, everyone. So just wanted to tell you that stairs is one of my favorite subjects, and it was difficult to make the selection. And the photos I'm going to show you come from 3 different places, but they have something in common. In each one, I was interested in how stairs can shape movement, perspective, and the way we see people. So the first one, the photo that you are seeing right now, I took it in Chicago. That was the Contemporary Institute of Art. I gave it the title, The Eye of the Stair. So I love the geometry of the staircase. And looking down, you can see the curves. They form a shape of the eye. That's why I gave it the title. And the people that are captured there, they kind of add the shape, the movement, and they also show the scale of the staircase. This photo was taken in India, in Jaipur, it's called Amber Palace. It's a huge palace. And and I like giving titles to my photos. So this one, I kind of thought it would be nice to call it Stillness on the Steps. What caught my eye was the woman wrapped in red. And I like the contrast between her stillness sitting there and the people that are passing by. And that kind of creates the contrast between the still moment that she's experiencing versus the movement of people. Next one, please. This one was taken in Paris by the River Seine. This one I called The Way Up, and this is a quieter and a simpler photo. The stairs and the walls and the railings, and they all lead up towards the single lamppost, which is at the very top. And I liked the feeling of looking up and maybe wondering what comes next. Thank you.
Veronica, are you here? I'm not sure if Veronica's here, but she's outstanding in capturing especially abandoned buildings or buildings that are falling apart. And I can just see the debris at the bottom of the staircase, and typical outstanding photo by Veronica. Now we have David Huskin.
I took that photo at the Hotel Chelsea. My brother and I went to meet up with a friend of my brother, and I just had a few seconds to capture this before the elevator came. And I couldn't help but think of all the famous writers, musicians that walked up and down those stairs. That's at MoMA, Museum of Modern Art. And I stood there for a while, had the composition in mind, and I just waited for people that created some interest in the geometry. I was walking to some event, and I noticed these two young women on the stairs of the Union League. Not sure exactly what they were doing. I didn't have a whole lot of time, but I liked the light and then the white of their garments. So these photos show why I almost, well, not almost, always have a camera with me when I'm outside of the house, because you just never know what you might run into.
John?
Okay. This picture I may have actually shown before. It is from my road trip I think this was in February of 2020. That is a chapel in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and it was built with woodworking techniques that are lost. And there's actually a whole story about the guy. He's kind of a mystery. He just kind of showed up, supposedly, and he did carpentry work for this church in exchange for a place to live. And then after the stairway was done, he disappeared. But as you notice, there's no central support. It supports its own weight. And that's very difficult to do with wood. And I thought it was really cool to see it in person. This is the stairs that lead up to a house that used to be down by the Sassafras River. In the War of 1812, the British invaded, and they burned down every house except for the Kitty Knight house, which was a an inn, a restaurant, but it was also, a place where we could get certain services. And the popular rumor is that they agreed not to burn it if they would take care of the British soldiers. So they may have had to get creative. But this is the house next door that unfortunately didn't make it. So, and it was also a chance for me to go take a picture with my newly acquired Nikon D800. So, should be one more, I think. This, oh yes, yes, a picture of stairs. I was looking for a third picture and I just pulled out my phone and searched my iPhoto library for stairs, and this was one of them. And I thought, you know what, that'll do. I don't remember exactly where this was. The geotag says Westville, New Jersey, which I've definitely been to, but yeah.
Now, Eileen.
Ooh.
And I guess I'm here. Am I here?
Yes.
Okay. Well, and I'm not muted, so
We can hear
am I showing up?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, it just doesn't show up on mine. Okay. So this one was done in 2006, and it's Fort Fincastle in Antigua. And I like the idea of stairs going to where? On their way to where? And that's why it really just appealed to me. And then steps that are blocked with an incredible iron gate and a matching gate at the top as well. And this one was in Nelson Dockyard National Park in Antigua. And I just love the idea of the gate. And at the very top, when you get to the top of the steps, it's a canal. But I love the ironwork on the gate. Next. And this one is in Rendsburg. It's a park in Rendsburg, Germany. And I had several pictures of these steps, and I chose this one because I liked the feet at the very top of the image. I just thought it gave a proportion to the size of the steps. And I think that's the last one.
It is. So now we've seen all the steps that have been submitted, and I don't know about you, but I'm very impressed and felt wow. As I was putting together, I'm sitting there like some of these pictures I'm looking at, it says time to sell my camera. I mean, some of them are really, really good.